Okay, so let's get started today on our backs. You'll come into a Supta Baddha Konasana, which is soles of the feet together, knees fall wide and apart. Back of the neck becomes really long. A lot of times I'll see in students is the chin starts to lift up, which is beautiful for an open throat, but also it compromises the neck. We want to keep the spine long, draw the chin down slightly towards the heart, and then soften on the inner thighs. And when you come into your space, your feet in prayer, interior of the legs in the shape of a diamond, you'll start to lengthen out your breath and draw deeper into the belly, slower, longer, steadier breath. And this whole entire sequence, this whole entire flow is centered around stability and steadiness. So mind is attached to the body at all times, tethered with your breath. So you're never outside of this space. You're in your present moment at all times. If you feel safe enough where you are to close your eyes, start to drop the lids closed, soften jaw, cheeks, face, and let the whole upper body start to melt down into your mat. And a beautiful fluid breath flowing in and out of the torso, low belly. And this style of breathing, when you breathe down deep into the belly, is actually influencing energetically the pelvic bowl, the storage container of control. Now you might feel your hips tight often. This is a symptom of control. And here inside this practice, you're going to assign yourself over to present moment, just being where you are. We'll take 3 big belly breaths in to start. So filling all the way up, you'll feel your belly expand like a balloon in all 4 directions, capturing your breath at the top. So if you've already let your breath go, breathe in again, hold at the top, continue to hold, and then let your breath go. Another cycle of breath in, just like that. This time, maybe taking it in a little slower, drawing in a little more sacredness to your breath. And then as you capture it at the top, try not to force, but to ask it to stay. Stay within the body as your body expands to hold your breath. And then you could sigh it out. This last inhale for our pranayama, slow, steady down into the belly, past the belly, into the pelvic bowl, past the pelvic bowl, down into the feet, holding once you're entirely full. And there might be a little bit of space in the upper portion of the lung for you to draw in another sip of breath and hold. And then we'll release with a double exhale. Using your hands to the outsides of the thighs, start to draw the knees in to center to touch. You can heel toe the feet to the outside edges of your mat. So we're moving from we're moving to an internal rotation of the hip and away from that external rotation of the hip. A lot of people will feel strong sensation when the knees are trying to touch. Sometimes the knees won't even touch on most days, but just make the effort to draw the knees to center, keep the feet wide. Let your palms fall out to a T. Fill your belly with one more breath. And then as you exhale, you can let your knees drop over to the left, a nice wide-footed stance twist, just moving into a gentle opening for the spine. And next, inhale, knees travel back through center, pulling up and in through the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. And exhale, knees fall over to the right. Be really mindful that the left glute, left hip is still not trying to grip, that the muscles completely melting away from the bone. Drop into where you are. And we'll come back through center with that next breath in. Draw the knees over top of your heart, and you can take a big squeeze, maybe even letting your forehead come up to touch or attempt to touch the knees. You could hold the breath one last time. And as you empty, keep the hands wrapped around the right shin. Let your left foot drop down to your mat or extend your left leg to the base of your mat. Here in this posture, we're starting to move into the active portion of our practice. So your feet want to be flexed, toes pulling towards the shins. There's a lot of energy moving through the feet. If your left leg is straight, you want to be pushing through the heel, pulling the toes back, and really opening into the left hip flexor. At the same time, you're feeling the constriction and the compression through the right hip flexor. Tops of shoulders are soft, arms are soft. The only thing holding right shin in place is tension. Tension between palms and shins. Focus your breath down into the belly. Breathe for 4. Left leg may need to bend for this, and don't rule it out. Try not to force or let your hip start to lift or your foot start to lift. Half happy baby, right heel stacks over right knee, inside arch grip, or if you need to, outside arch grip. Once you have that grip, you're going to move your knee out to the side a little more, and then use your palm to drive it down towards your mat. A lot of energy and tension can get locked in the jaw. You want to be really mindful that you are staying present. Where is strong in your body, sukha? Where needs to be sthira? Where needs to be soft, sukha? We'll make our way into a supine twist. So your left hand is going to come over, grab your right knee, drop your right arm out to shoulder height, and then use your left palm to guide your right knee across body, supine twist. Pretty deep twist for this early in practice. So you don't want to be pulling your spine into the shape. Just let it start to unfold as you breathe and show up on your mat. Drop your right hip back down to your mat. Extend your right leg straight up to the sky, flexed foot still, and interlace your fingers to the back of the thigh, calf, or ankle. So you're in a reclined head to knee pose. Knee is traveling towards forehead or crown. Toes are starting to reach towards the floor that is overhead of you. Your grounding breath in this posture is starting at the back of the hamstring, and every exhale, the exhale moves from the back of the hamstring, anchors down through the right hip. Keep the leg shape exactly as it is. If your left leg is at a bend, extend it so that both legs are straight. One reaching towards the base of your mat, your left leg, and right heel reaching high up towards the sky. Arms will be alongside body here. So you want to turn your palms down and snug them in right close to your sides. Maybe you even want to place them underneath the low back for a little bit of support. On your exhale, right heel reaches towards the base of your mat and left heel is coming up. So you're starting to scissor the legs here. And then swapping out, same thing. Left heel comes up, right heel goes down. Right heel comes up, left heel goes down. Left leg comes up, right heel reaches towards the base of the mat. Here, you're going to take the grab of the back of the left thigh, kick the heel up nice and straight, go in for your reclined head to knee, start to draw your toes overhead. So we're reversing out of the sequence here. Where would your exhale best support you? Where is tightest? Close your eyes, breathe to that space, be in there. And we'll go from here to the half happy baby, left knee bends, inside arch grip. And as always, that's optional. It's just easiest for me, so I'll cue that. And then knee drives down towards the mat. Heel is stacking high. So the closer the heel is to your glute, the easier this posture is. The more that the heel stacks over top of the knee, the more stretch you're gonna get through your hamstring. Press through the right foot if you aren't already. Straighten that leg. And I have not forgot supine twist, but we're gonna go into the half wind removing pose. So let your calf rest against the back of the thigh and tangle your fingers over your left shin. You have 3 breaths here. I like to leave a lot of space on the following side so that you can explore. You are your own best teacher at all times. And especially if you are a teacher of yoga, you could go deeply into your body and say, what could I cue here? And it starts to integrate into your body. From here, we'll go into the supine twist, right hand to left knee, draw your knee across body, left arm goes out shoulder height. And then we'll come back through center, left hip drops down, both knees hug over top of the heart. Take your next tight squeeze, maybe lift the forehead into your knees. And we'll have to start to bring a little bit of energy into the body. So if you need to take a few deep breaths and huge exhales, you can do that here. And once you're complete, we'll rock and roll and come up into a downward facing dog. So rocking from crown to tail, maybe 3 times. And then once you're ready, you'll roll all the way over. Find your downward facing dog. Feet hip width distance apart, palms rooted down into the earth, and sit bones rising high, heart towards thighs. We'll take petals. However you need to come into your first downward facing dog. If you want to sway your hips from side to side or go into deep knee bends, which look like pedaling out your downward facing dog, we'll take 4 breaths here, just starting to get familiar with downward facing dog. A lot of times in my body, I feel it first through the hamstring, and then I'm aware of my calves. My calves are also tense, so I'll send my exhale there. Push the heart back, take a bend through the knees, let go of the ego that the legs need to be straight. We're just starting here. So just starting out, and then we'll come into stillness at the next 2 breaths. From downward facing dog, bring your big toes to center to touch. Lift your right heel as high as you can possibly get it. Go into a 3-legged dog. Feel your back of your right thigh grip to the bone. Use that glute to lift the heel a little higher. Full belly breath in. And then exhale, bring right knee to right wrist, half pigeon. We're only here for 3 breaths. And this is an active half pigeon. So don't start to drop your belly over your thigh. You want to be up nice and tall. Have your fingertips rooted into the ground. Draw the shoulder blades down and back. So this is a very strong upward pigeon. You might recognize the similarity to half wind removing pose here. We want this length through the back leg, so you feel the opening of the hip flexor. And then plant your palms, kick back, 3-legged dog. So leg comes back up again, right heel high to the sky. Another exhale, leg travels forward, lands outside of right palm, lizard pose, back knee drops down. So grounded lizard. Left knee should be down on the ground, right knee at a bend, and that foot is outside of your right hand. Toes are gonna be off at about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock if you were looking at a clock. Palms can be down, or you can come down onto your forearms, breathing here for 3, you have an option here. So we're going into the twist, but you can take this deeper. Left palm down or left forearm down, right hand sweeps up, opening the heart to look upwards towards the ceiling. So right hand is coming all the way up. You can stay there or kick your back heel in, reach your top hand and take a grab of your foot, drawing your heel towards your glute. If you have to pull your hips back quite a bit, like I do to start, I take the grab and then I drop back in. If you're pulled back in your hips, you want to come out. Just don't do that quite yet. But if you're in it, let your hips really melt towards your mat. It's all to do with breath. Like if you have the grab, what's holding you is your lock pattern attention. Come home to your breath. If you have the bind, release the bind, bring your right hand down inside of front foot again. We'll pull back this grounded lizard into a half split, but not your typical half split. You want the leg still to be wide to the outside of your right hand. So you're drawing back from a lizard into a half split. So your front leg's quite wide. Little micro adjustment just to be made. See if you can push your left hip forward and plug the right one in, drawing it back and in. The right hip back and in. Right heel down and back. Lots of pressure down into the heel. Here's where things get a little bit spicy. You could come back into your lizard, so bend the front knee. We're making our way into a supported side plank. Left toes are gonna kick to the left, so behind you, about maybe 3 or 4 inches. They're gonna be a kickstand, so you're just kicking it off your mat slightly. Left hand stays where it is, or actually both hands will stay where they are for right now. Right toes are gonna reach back, leg goes straight. So you should be in somewhat of a 3-legged tabletop. Drop the back heel down, reach your right hand up. Left knee is down, right hand is up. So you should be in a supported side plank. Beautiful, nice job, guys. You have an option here. You can come into exactly where you are, which is valid and worthy. No, like there's no better. Just what you want to see from your body today. Or you could lift your top leg, hover it there. You want to go even deeper. You want more sensation for your quad. You will take your top hand as you kick your right heel in towards your glute and wrap the top side of your foot, coming into a nice bind. If you do have this bind, you're going to kick hard, hard, hard into the hand and make it into a back bend. Push your heart forward, open it up. And then releasing the bind, come back to your supported side plank, drop your lifted heel down so the toes are now touching. We're going to make our way back into tabletop. So both hands will come down. And then as you turn your heart towards your mat, your right heel will kick up for bird dog. So right heel is lifted, shoulder height, right leg is straight. You're in a three-legged tabletop. From bird dog, you can stay there or reach your left hand forward. You have another option for a bind here. If you want to take it further, come into a quad stretch, kick your right heel in towards your glute, squeeze, reach back with your left hand. Take that bind. You are now in tiger pose. Tiger pose is full of courage. It is full of ferocity. So this heart is blowing open, gaze is up, and you are not looking down for anyone. So this is a very powerful posture. Release tiger. If you have it, come back to bird dog. Left hand reaching forward, right leg reaching back. Or so quiet. Left hand comes down. Right knee goes down. And you can flow through a few cat-cows, inhales, belly drops, exhales, spine rounds, really squeezing and rinsing out the lungs on your exhale. And we'll go through 3, 4, maybe even 5 of those cat-cows. And you can move from side to side as well. And when you feel complete with your cat-cows, your spine rolls, spine goes straight. Gaze is neutral down between the thumbs. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. We're moving along pretty quickly now, so it'll be less cueing, more breathing from you. So you'll really focus in on your breath. Big toes to center, left heel kicks up. Comes as high as it possibly can. Where do you need to grab the bone with your muscle? Lift it a little higher. As you exhale, left knee, left wrist, half pigeon. This strong half pigeon, heart is lifted, fingertips are pressing down into the earth. Strong breath. Very similar to the tiger, open heart, lifted gaze, proud gaze. Pressing back, three-legged dog, heel kicks as high as you can, strong, powerful breath. And with your empty left foot travels forward, finding your low lizard, right knee down, left foot outside of left hand. You have the options here to stay palms or come down to forearms. Where are you directing your breath? Your breath is such a powerful tool for softening your body. Don't ever miss an opportunity to use it to get deeper in your posture. Where do you need to expand with your inhale, create space? And then as you exhale, oh, it's safe to drop in. It's safer for me to come in. The body opens up. You can keep forearm down if you have it and you want to come into your twist that way. Left arm reaches up to the sky and there's this beautiful opening from the sternum across the shoulder all the way to the left fingertips. Coming for the bind, back heel kicks in, top hand reaches back. This is another, every time you bind, you have this opportunity to come into the open heart, the openness of your heart, and really expand your sternum across your rib cage. Releasing the bind, bringing both hands back down. Lizard half split. So that wide half split, draw your hips back. Don't let them travel past your back knee. You're kind of missing an opportunity for depth if your sit bones are coming towards your heel. So we want to be stacking hips over knee. Nice, nice pull back. Don't be soft with your half split ever. Push down, pull back. Nice, beautiful work. Coming back to lizard, setting up for our modified side plank. Hands are planted down and you will sweep your front leg back and you can immediately take it up into the bird dog. From bird dog, top left hand reaches up. I can't see anyone's rights or lefts. Oh, no, we don't want to do that yet, do we? Hang on, hang on. Don't hold bird dog. Make your way into your modified side plank. So back heel drops down, right hand stays, left hand reaches up. I'm trying to skip a step there. Option to lift the top leg and come into your bind if you did on the other side, and maybe you didn't on the other side. Don't get so caught up in everything having to be symmetrical. Your body is an asymmetrical being, and be with what is free and where requires more discipline. Same thing with the back bend. If you have the bind, open the heart, expand the clavicles, come across the shoulders. Then once we release the bind, you'll come into your bird dog. So you guys have already been there, but come into your bird dog. Back leg is lifted, front hand goes forward, hold. Stay. If you're quiet, if your core is quiet, kick your back heel in, sweep your front hand, make the grab for tiger. Once you make that grab, really kick hard into it as though you are trying to blow the space between your head and your foot apart. There's this ball of energy. Lift, lift, lift out of the hips. Come back, bird dog. Hold. Let your hand come down first, followed by your knee. Once you are in tabletop, toes tuck under, hips lift. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Big toes to center, right leg kicks up, three-legged dog. You have an option here if you'd like to bend your knee, stack your hips, and make your way into a rock star or wild thing. You have 3 breaths. Otherwise, stay fire hydrant, scorpion tail, whatever you call it. Rockstar wild things, come back, 3-legged dog, full belly breath in. As you exhale, foot travels forward to the top of your mat and you will come up into a warrior 1. Back heel at about a 45-degree angle, front knee, pretty good bend stacked over front ankle. Trying to push the left hip forward and make this a closed hip posture, although it's nearly impossible. That's the aim. We're pushing left hip forward. Take a bind of your hands at your low back, really thread the fingers together nicely. And once you have the fingers threaded together, push the knuckles down towards your back heel. So this will open the heart again, spreading space across the chest. Full breath in, grow a little tall through the spine, feel the vertebra lengthen, and then exhale, humble forward, humbled warrior. Shoulder to inside of front thigh. Coming back up, reach your arms overhead, warrior one. A little bit of shimmying needed, warrior two. And back foot is going to have to do a little bit of movement to open up into a warrior two. Really beautiful, strong warrior two. Pressing the knee to the outside of your mat, sinking a little deep, and then flip the front palm, drop the back hand, revolve your warrior. Come back through warrior two. Bring your hands into heart center. Okay, listen really, really good. Spider-Man lunge to the back of your mat. So this is the left toes turning out slightly, left knee coming in for a significant bend, and you're gonna drop your sit bones down to that heel. Right leg straightens. So wild little transition for online class. And from here, you'll bend your right knee and come forward into a twisted lunge. Left hand down, right hand up. Back knee is lifted. So just like we did before, back knee was down, this time it's up. Beautiful. Both hands will come down. You'll frame your front foot. And let's start to take steps forward until you can come into your half split. So back leg will lift, hands travel forward so they're underneath the shoulders. Half split. Heel traveling up, but baby toe always looking down. It feels so good, let me tell you, to open the hip. You can get so much higher. It's so much freer, but your right hamstring it's like, it's off the hook. Nothing's happening. When you close the left hip, right hamstring actually has to work to lengthen. Here, you could take a bind, so you could kick your heel in and take a bind. Yeah, nice, beautiful. Once you have the bind, same thing. Start to kick, kick, kick. Release the bind, come back to your half split. Working into coming warrior three. Hands to heart center, spine strengthens, back lengthens, head travels forward, heel travels back. Warrior three, Virabhadrasana three. Both hands come down to your mat. Both feet step forward. One foot steps forward. Halfway lift, strong flat back. And fold. Plant your hands, step back plank. We're on the home stretch. You've just got this on the other side. When you have plank, you can option through your vinyasa or just move back to downward facing dog. I won't cue a vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Big toes to center, left heel comes up, leg is straight, and then you'll go into stacking the hips, bending your left knee, coming into a what I know as scorpion tail or three-legged dog fire hydrant. Option to drop your top foot behind you, push down through the right hand, and revolve your heart open, rockstar wild thing. Really try to move that right hip up to look at the sky. Nice job, guys. And then come back, three-legged dog, big breath in. As you exhale, footsteps forward, warrior one. Setting up for your warrior one, coming into a strong warrior pose. Face is soft, shoulders are soft, legs are strong. Interlace opposite, finger on top, low back. As you draw the knuckles down towards the ground, lift the heart, lift the gaze, and then use your exhale to humble, bringing your left shoulder inside of front thigh. Come back up, warrior one, arms reach towards the sky. Think about foot positioning. Where am I going? Part your arms, reach open, warrior two. Reverse your warrior, front hand flips, back hand drops. Warrior two. Moving to the back of your mat, side lunge, Spider-Man lunge, back knee bends, toes slightly turn out. That front leg gets so much length through the adductor. And then smooth like butter, you roll forward into your twisted lunge. Back knee is lifted. So left knee is bent, right hand is down, left hand comes up. Making our way to half split, both hands come down, frame the foot. Maybe you need to step forward slightly and then push through your front leg, lift the back leg up. You can come for your bind. And relax the bind. Close your half split. So hip point looks down, both hands drop down to your mat. Heel is high. Thumbs come to heart center. Maybe make your way to warrior three from thumbs at heart center and reach the hands forward. Oh, that's what I forgot when we went to warrior two. I'll let you guys go there with warrior two arms. Sorry. Beautiful warrior three starts with your breath, anchoring deeply into your breath. Hands come down to your mat. Feet step forward. Halfway lift, strong flat back. Exhale, fold. Heel to your feet to the outside edges of your mat. Sink your hips down, yogi squat for 3 breaths. From yogi squat, you'll start to roll onto your back body, coming onto your spine. Hug your knees over top of your heart. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. Let the knees roll to the outsides of the rib cage. Stack the heels. Happy baby, full happy baby. You have the option here to extend one leg straight or both. Breathing for 3, 2, and last breath here. Knees travel over top of the heart once again. Arms part out to a T, and you'll let the knees fall to the left, coming into a beautiful soft twist and a expansion through right lung, right shoulder. Breath starting to slow down, body recovering, finding your steadiness. You can stay a little longer if you have time. And if you need to close, we'll take knees through heart center and over to the other side. A soft rock of left hip back down to your mat, and a gentle extension of both legs, a subtle tuck of the shoulders under the heart, and just an awareness of gravity holding you to the earth. You fill with lightness with your breath. and heaviness as you exhale. Shavasana.